Are you married?
No, I'm not.
Are you dating?
No, not currently, no.
Am I allowed to ask sensitive questions?
Okay, I'll tell you if I'm comfortable answering it.
There's a celebrity woman, celebrated popular woman called Rorisang.
Yes, Rorisang Thandekiso.
She's made a huge name for herself, besides all of her talents and skills, in speaking about being a Christian woman, devout Christian woman, and in preserving her virginity.
Yes.
Waiting to get married. And so when you speak about morals and you live them, and are you a virgin? Are you waiting to get married? You don't have to answer that first part, but are you living a Christian lady, girl life? And is that what you want other people to live?
I believe in waiting for marriage 100%.
Okay.
I believe in keeping yourself until you find your husband, etc., etc. So I've always lived by that. I've always known that, and I've always made sure that I do it to the best of my capability to make sure that I meet that standard. And although realistically it doesn't, like a lot of people don't actually get there, but I believe in consistently trying. Like even if you did it before in the past, you can try again, be celibate again until you get married.
Yeah.
If you're celibate for 3 years and then you made a mistake on the 4th year, you can start again.
A mistake?
Like, as in like you slip. I'm sure if you're
you
making...
Slip
as in you do the act. I'm sure celibacy
is that slipping? So I'm just asking. My apologies. Please continue, ma'am.
I wouldn't assume that you would do it intentionally, because I know that if you're saying that you're celibate, the intention is to do it when you're married,
Sure.
right? So then now, I would assume that if you went straight for 3 years, you didn't do anything, and then the 4th year, you met one guy, and then you got into it, it doesn't necessarily mean that you did it on purpose or you don't care about your journey anymore. So that's why I believe that you can always start again. Like, just start again, just continue until you reach there. So I understand that, like, not everyone is going to be like Rorisang. And I think that I'm not necessarily trying to make everyone live the life that I live, or I want them to believe in Jesus necessarily. It's more of like, I've seen another way, and I can attest to how fulfilling this way is. I can attest to how peaceful, to how, you just feel fulfilled in general. And I want more women to experience that, because I necessarily wasn't satisfied with just sitting there living my life and being like, okay, as long as I don't do it, I don't care if Bang Bang is getting drunk out of her mind or she's living in destruction. It's none of my business. I was never satisfied with that. And in the Christian faith, you're always trying to help other people. You're always trying to reach out to other people. That's what it encourages at all times. That the Jesus that you have, the love that you have, the wholesomeness that you have, the peace, the favor that you have, why do you want to keep it to yourself? Why do you not bring it out to other people and say, hey guys, there's another way. I can see you're not satisfied. You're not happy. There's another way. So that's what I'm trying to do, basically.
You don't mind women slipping in the pursuit of trying to be holy?
I do not mind it at all, because me living the life that I've lived, it doesn't mean that I didn't slip into things.
Yeah.
It didn't mean that I didn't make mistakes. It didn't mean that I didn't go into things not knowing what it was and then realize that, oh my gosh, okay, I need to not go there, you know? If anything, for my background, I was a late bloomer. Like, I was very, I didn't necessarily know what boys were. Like, I was always this girl that was very focused on me, go to school. So it was only when I was 20, 21 that I was like, okay, let's see, what are boys? Let's talk to boys, let's see. Do you understand? Because that curiosity is normal. So that's when I was like, okay, let me talk to boys, let me see what's going on. And then I realized, oh, okay, these type of boys, absolutely not. And there's certain things that I learned that, oh, okay, if I go this far, this is what's going to happen, and that's not good, you see. So I don't mind people making mistakes, as long as you're constantly pursuing it and you're constantly trying to be better.
How long, in your opinion, is a woman allowed to slip for? What if she slips from age 18 to 30 and it was a mistake? And now she's like, I slipped for 12 years, but now I'm ready to be a holy child of the most favored. Those things.
Yeah. I think it's... a lot of women, it's not necessarily a mistake, it's just not knowing better, because other people, it's environment where you come from that has influenced you into walking this path. for example, if I grew up in a different environment, I would have been like those ladies, Mas. You understand? So I don't feel like, oh, I'm special because I'm Sihle. I know that my environment contributes to that. My beliefs contribute into that. So I understand that some women just don't know any better. Like, you didn't have money, so you went into prostitution, or, you know, in your environment, girls didn't finish school or whatever. This is a life that they lived, so you do that. So I think that anyone, even if it was 20 years, as long as you change, I know that men have a problem with that, like the whole rebranding thing that, all of a sudden now, hey, you lived your life, you did this, now you want to come. And for me, it's like, okay, it's not even about you, it's about them. So there's a man out there that's going to be like, you know what, you are the wife for me right now. I don't care about your past, even though it's very rare, especially if you do things out in the public. Let me give you an example. If, let's say, nobody knew me and I lived 8 years and I was doing things on the streets, and then when I turn maybe 30, and then I'm like, okay, you know what, let me change my life. I need to do something differently. I move somewhere else. No one's going to know that that was my past. So the difference is that the girls in the industry, everybody knows your past.
Sure.
Everybody knows what you've done. So you can't necessarily erase it, you see. So no man is going to come to you and be like, I don't care about what you did, because what you did is always on the internet.
Yeah.
They can't not care even if they wanted to. So I think there's a difference. Some people, they're lucky because nobody knows what you've been doing. Other people, it's been out there on blast. That's why you're going to struggle to get to that point.
Should a person's past matter? Whether it's on the public domain or not? Should a woman who maybe wasn't in the streets and online, should she confess to a guy now that she's rebranded and be like, yo, I used to be in the streets, bro. It's flames. If you see random guys smiling and greeting, just know that might be my history. Or should people keep that stuff to themselves?
I think that either way it's going to come out. Because I don't have to come to you and be like, Penwell, this is my past before you accept me. This is what I've been doing. Take it or leave it. But in the relationship, you can see, hey, this girl, she's always texting other guys. That's showing you that I've never been used to committing to one person. You know, those things come out in small ways. Maybe you've got traumas, now you've got trust issues, you can't trust. That shows that, oh, okay, there's a past that you come from. So I feel like we don't even necessarily have to announce it, but it's always going to come out. And that's why I believe that prevention is better than cure. That's why I'm trying to say, don't even start, young girls. Don't even get into that life. Don't see influencers and think, oh, this is the life that I need to, because it's going to end up here. And once it's here, it's going to be very hard to go back. It's going to be very hard to erase, you see, that past and how it has affected you as a person moving forward. So, to answer your question, the past does matter. It doesn't need to, but it's always going to affect you one way or the other. Because even me, for the small things that I went into, I'm still trying to deal with them even today. Like, oh, damn, that was one time, but I'm still, you know, there's still that trauma. There's still that...
Trauma, guilt.
More like trauma, like it was an unnecessary experience. Like I didn't need to experience that type of thing.
But you don't blame other people. You blame yourself.
I always take accountability.
Yeah.
Some of the things, they're not my fault, but I'm always like, okay, but how did I even allow it to get there in the first place? Because for some people, things didn't necessarily happen to you. You didn't ask for it, but it happened to you. But I'm always like, okay, there's nothing I can do. I can't chase Penwell and say, oh, Penwell, you did this to me forever. Like, he's going to live his life. He's going to move on. I need to take accountability for my part and say, okay, the reason why I even accepted a guy like Penwell is because this is how I think. This is how I've always viewed things. And I feel like moving forward, it will be best for me to start thinking differently. So that's the part that's that I love so much about accountability, because it will always enrich the one that is taking charge of their lives.